Great.
Very good job, man.
No worries.
Oops.
So email that to me so it can go on the website.
I got it, I brought those,
What?
I got it.
No, email it to me so I can put it on the website. Thanks. Who's Kristen? What?
It's supposed to be this, I tell you.
Uh-huh. Who's Kristen got good paper?
Cheap good people, not that cheap stuff.
Cheap reusable trash,
Recycle.
cardboard, recycled,
Craig.
low glare.
Are we live, Zach?
Yeah, we are.
Look, comment went on just saying something inappropriate. We're not
As soon as
using it.
Patrick's done.
Might go viral.
Oh.
Kevin's done.
Well, at least it's not your
As soon as
picture, so.
as soon as you're good with it,
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good.
Good as I'm gonna be for now. So after we-
I'll make a motion that we accept the organizational meeting document as printed and amended today.
Second.
Any discussion?
Great job, Dan.
Great job.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okey-doke. Next up. Alright. I appreciate it. Makes for some exciting reading. He's very thorough, my friend.
I don't know how you do it. I don't see you over there typing. That's pretty detailed.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for March 14th, 2018.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? Good. Alright, next up,
In lieu of a treasurer's report and/or voucher numbers and money, there is an email from the financial consultant explaining where we are with the end of the year review and closeout of last fiscal year and putting in the new budget. So, there's an email in there for you to read.
Beautiful.
next,
So what's happening is that the budget is just about cleaned up. We have some odds and ends.
Last of the February accounts payables will be approved tonight, and then once those are out, then fiscal year can close and the new budget put in.
Then we can
Then
get on
water-
to doing reserves
yep.
and everything.
Yep, and then
Excellent.
we expect May to have both budget transfers and year-end numbers for you
Okay.
at
great.
May's meeting.
And we'll have some of that before our work session,
Maybe,
so we can.
perhaps.
Nice.
We will try.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm good with it.
okay. Alright, we have to authorize the payment of the bills. I went through and signed them, Tim went through and signed them.
I'll sign them tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll sign them tomorrow. Motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the bills for this month.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay. Alright, reports. Starting with codes. Craig, no Craig, okay.
Craig's at training.
Oh, okay. He did do the, that green training and we did submit our application for that $5,000 grant. I'm hoping that we're gonna get it, because we were really fast. And it was lightning on it, so I'm hopeful. And we're officially now a green energy community, according to the state of New York, so. That's actually a very good thing.
Yes, it is.
We'll
Is there
do,
a sign we can put up? Or?
there is, and we'll do a little more hoopla, after we get the grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll roll out maybe a farmer's market kind of thing or
We can
something.
do that.
Do a combo. Okay, nice.
If you guys don't mind, I'll pause right in the middle of codes. I don't imagine you wanna stay for the whole meeting.
No, that's all right, thanks so much.
Okay. I state your name.
I, Catherine Barnwell,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of beautification committee member
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the beautification committee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Very much, I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
that's it, we're done, I signed.
Yeah, you just sign right there. You're
You're not supposed
excused.
to fight with Ed too much.
I'm signing.
Nobody's buying into
Right.
this.
Not even us, Ed.
Yeah. No one's willing to sign the "Don't Fight with Ed" pledge.
That's everything.
Thank you. Okey doke.
You questioned the flowers one time.
All right. Anything notable?
I'm back to codes, so I think I'd like to I'll talk with Craig about he's got two sheets here, and he has kind of the older ones up front and the newer ones on the second page. I see if maybe we can get that reversed, but, and then Dante, you've got the paperwork for that one.
Yeah, he sent a proposed information over to me, so I told him to go ahead and submit that to the court, and now we get for a date.
Okay. That's 40 Copeland that has the unlicensed cars, multiple.
Yeah, from his information, it looks like he had 4 or 5 warnings over.
Yeah, they've had multiple warnings, they've exceeded their time limit. It's time to.
I don't know if this has anything to do with code, but I've noticed that some of the storefronts on Main Street in town, building out front, are moving in redevelopment.
People in the front.
What's happening now?
The hair salon.
Hair salon and the bridal boutique
Yeah.
moved to the back.
Oh,
The offices that he's built back there, very
Okay.
nice. And so it saves them money from rent, because they're not on Main Street. So
oh,
they're saving some money, so those two businesses up front will be open.
okay, good. And you guys saw who's coming into the old health food place?
Yeah.
Mr. Sheridan, yeah.
Mr. Sheridan.
Yeah, that's all
Very
great.
nice man.
Yeah, yeah, super.
I'm excited
She was
about
my art
that.
teacher.
Who's your art teacher?
Mrs. Sheridan was.
I
Oh,
talked to
she
her
was-
the other day.
I can offer a little storefront, I think the cakery wants to expand, and they may be a candidate in the new round of Michael Enterprise for that expansion.
Oh,
So
excellent.
that's what they wanna talk about, so that's
I
what,
like
that's
that.
gonna be happening.
I like business expansion.
I see some of these like 2016 things, and I know we worked on them, but, you know, it's like, the very bottom one there, 9/28/2016, and follow-up results not filled in, even though I think we did do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the,
That was just off,
I'm
that's
just saying here,
Yeah.
I mean, just
what I'm saying,
for neatness,
we need to readjust
or get
this.
rid of it.
right.
Oh, we'll pull it down, then just say he's on for a meeting or two, and then we just drop it off.
Okay. I think he's doing great.
Our next meeting for code book revision. Is on the 19th of April, Thursday, and we're also going to be going over, now's as good a time as any, the vacant building law that the village passed in 2012. One of the requirements was that the code officer was supposed to submit a vacant building report by the 15th of April of every year. That hadn't been done, we were getting ready to ramp that up. Then, while we were reviewing the village law, we had Dan Dean from County Planning was with us, and there's a New York State law that was passed in 2015. And there are some discrepancies between the two, so we've given both of those to the county. They're gonna come back to us and say which parts are in conflict, what we need to do. There is the severability clause, which, you know, the law is still in effect, but before we start putting information out to the residents, we wanted to make sure we had our ducks in a row and our law matches up with the New York State law. So hopefully, not hopefully, by next time, we'll have a draft list of buildings and the requirements for the building owners,
Good.
to move forward.
Good.
That's great.
So,
That's all.
Excellent.
that, I make a motion to accept the codes report.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Alright. DPW. So, are there any highlights you wanna hit for us?
No, you guys go ahead and read it and then you ask me questions, I think, let's.
You like that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll put this out there for all our residents, the compost site is open.
Compost site is open.
Plenty of signage to direct you to the
Yeah.
proper places.
Yes.
And there is a surveillance camera, so don't do anything bad.
Exactly.
Did we ever look and see, about what we're gonna do about trash cans that people leave at the curb? Did you look in code? Did we look in the code to see if we can fine?
I think there is I think we read that, you can only put them out at 5 o'clock like tonight, but they've been out there since noon, I know. And they gotta be picked up before 5 o'clock tomorrow.
I just don't remember if there was a fine.
I can't remember.
I didn't see any code, that's kinda why I'm wondering about that too. And I didn't see any explanation of a fine or anything.
Dante, look, we'll circle back, and if we have to,
Yeah.
next meeting, we'll set the fine schedule for that, and then you guys can warn people. And again, if there's, someone has an issue where they just physically can't, we'll work with them on that, that's not the, our goal is not to penalize people who physically are unable to do it.
Right.
Or the occasional person who has to go out of town or something.
Right.
It's for the repeat offenders. There are some that live near me that just leave them at the curb the entire time.
Yep.
I like Nick's report.
Yeah, Nick's report was great.
Very good.
That helps you understand a little bit more what's going on over there in the shop, so.
It does, and also, kinda makes sense with, when we look at the invoices and the bills. So that's good.
Mike, I like this is kinda idiot proof, but does this go in the Portland Standard now, do you know, or is we put it in the Homer?
Amnesty Day, we'll put that in the Homer
I'll
News,
send it to Dan and he'll put it on the website. Yeah.
on the website, and then we'll put it on the Facebook page, and then we'll put it in the Homer News, too.
I think I'd already given it to Don, he was gonna put it in the Homer News, so.
Okay, good.
Next station.
I'm sure we can let WHXC know too.
Yeah,
Print,
Yeah,
electronic,
that's,
and
we're a month ahead right now, dumpsters are all reserved, so we're pretty well set there,
You
so.
separate the metal and try to get a
Yep.
couple pennies for it, or
Well, Contento gets us on that, so,
that's how okay, so, hey, it's trade.
yeah.
That's how you do it.
I mean, I never see the bill, I'm assuming he offsets, cause he obviously can sell the metal,
Okay, I'm just saying, it's
yeah.
offsets, fine,
Yep.
I'm good with that. I got stuff to bring.
Right.
Mike, on the tree trimming, have you guys already identified the trees?
We've been around trimming a lot of trees right in the village. I can't give you the specific streets right now, but
If a resident has a concern about their tree, should they
Call me.
call you?
call me or email me,
Cause I
yep,
know there's a few trees out there that are,
yeah. As soon as we decide on a contractor, we're gonna go right up Main Street, cause we got several on Main Street that need to be trimmed out of the wires. I'm
Okay.
sure you've seen that.
yeah.
And you got did you get the one that I assigned to you from our
Yes,
system?
I did, on metal,
Yeah,
yeah, there's 3 of them on metal that are coming down right now, so
okay.
that makes
Good.
number 3.
That means that system worked okay then,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah,
person
it's fine.
submitted it, and then alright,
Oh,
excellent.
the report problem?
Uh-huh, yeah. That was, I think, the first one that I've handed off to a department head. So,
That worked good.
good.
We went over and cleaned up what limb had to come down and cleaned up, they knew we were there, so that was a good deal.
Ah, very good.
Sweet. Mike, we're gonna be going through our reserves and that kind of stuff for like sidewalks. I have free time being retired, but anyhow, so I've looked under this, system where they drill a hole
Yeah.
into some of the ones that need to do a lifting, and they put in the styrofoam, or not styrofoam, it's polyurethane, it's hard, waterproof, and they lift it up. And do we have enough that could be raised to kind of level them out to make sense, or would you hire a subcontractor?
Some
Or
of them-
is it something that we could buy and then sell to the city, cause they got more sidewalks than us after we're done with it?
Yeah, I doubt the city would buy it.
It's like
'cause
$35,000 for a trailer, but
Yeah.
it'll last for years. And then you could lift them, but I don't know if there's enough to do that.
Exactly the same thing, I paid a couple $1,000 to have sidewalk put in last year because a few years ago, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Yeah, with the lips and stuff. I'm not talking of the sidewalks that are broken that really have to be replaced.
Right.
cause we got Contentos now, and it's gonna take all that scrap concrete and try to reuse it. I'm
We
just
lost
wondering if
video
you
there,
could lift
Zach.
it.
Tells me I'm live still.
So anyhow, food for thought to look at, maybe there's a
We were
contractor
gonna-
that does that, and we could figure out which ones could use
Oh,
that. It
okay.
seemed to work here in the north.
I had mentioned the sidewalks, earlier, I think when we were going through budget, and we were gonna talk about the sidewalks separately in a workshop, I think, to see
And
what
we
we
will.
wanted to do. I know there's lots that need to be repaired, yes, I do know that, but we need to look at who's paying.
Right,
You know.
I mean, that's all part of the deal.
Right.
Is maybe, if it could be lifted, that may be a different rate than,
Yeah, exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, we have that one fund that we're investigating, that
Right,
we might be able to use some of that money.
there was a fund for
Sidewalks.
sidewalks, yeah, I don't know what's in it or what you still got going on or nothing.
I rode
Yeah.
up to, Seneca Castle Saturday with the
Okay.
city sewer guys and some of the, select board, or what do you call them in the city?
Councilman.
Councilmen. And so we went up to look at the worms for composting of the sewer stuff.
Oh,
And, they were indicating that they only had like $20,000 set up for fixing sidewalks in all of Portland, which has got a ton of them. And they do a 50-50 match, and so we'll have to
Right.
figure out what our match. In the past, we've done 75-25, but that's all to be discussed and
Right.
debated.
right.
And I'm just wondering if leveling it might be something.
There is
we
some of
might
them that we
wanna
could
put
level,
some in.
you know, that would help, but there's a lot of them that we need to obviously lift out or break up to get the roots out from underneath them.
I
so,
agree.
Yeah,
All right, food for thought,
Yeah.
that's all, thanks. Great report.
yep.
Mike, on the NYSEG has given us where they're gonna be digging this year.
I have a whole map of where they're gonna be digging. Almost every street in the village is gonna get some kind of dig right now. The two big streets that I was planning on paving, which is North Cortlandt Street and North Fulton, they got probably 3 or 4 digs on both streets, so I'm not gonna pave
Right.
Right.
and then have
What are
that
they doing,
dig, so-
Mike?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's NICEAG doing?
Service lines,
Service lines?
mostly service lines.
Is it the
That
same
also-
as what they're doing there in Homer Ave right now,
Yeah.
in Cortland?
That also affects some of the sidewalks.
Yeah,
And they have to repair the sidewalks
Yeah.
once they do the dig. So they asked me for a contractor's name. I gave them a couple contractors' names that, you know, that we would use or somebody would use that we knew, so. And I
Mike,
gave them the specifications for the sidewalks, so there is sidewalks that they're gonna be doing, so.
Is there any way we can find a timeline so we can give our residents a heads up?
Yeah, I asked for that also, and I asked them also not to wait till, like they did with the police department, so late in the season to dig, and then we had a mess all winter long, so.
Yeah.
I have to wait on that, I mean, I've made my concerns known and,
Excellent. I see we got our new, roller.
roller cam.
You gonna share that with the town when they need it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, they've got a little one too, so it all works good, so. They share with us, we try to share with them.
I figured.
anything more by chance out of the railroad about fixing, cause remember you said they were talking about doing concrete?
They told me, I haven't heard anything from them.
Right.
But they told me this summer they were gonna be doing concrete on Hooker, all our intersections.
Okay, yep.
So, I
But
have
you
not
haven't
heard
heard
anything
nothing
from him. I do suspect anytime. He did call us the other day, we were patching around, Cuba Street and James Street, and he called me and asked me if we would call them the next time we were patching, which is normal. So, cause they would stop the trains before we patch and then
right.
release the train when we're done, so that none of us get hit,
Okay,
so.
yeah,
But other than that, I have not heard anything from them yet, so.
okay.
I make a motion to accept the DPW report.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? Alright, fire department. Yeah, oh man, Malin. Good one.
End of the year.
So we had,
Next
the busiest year that the chief can remember. Over 1,000 alarms. 41% in the village, 27% in the town of Homer, 10% Summer Hill, 9% Scott, 8% Cortlandville, 5% mutual aid.
Interesting, most calls are on Monday? Wow. Would not have guessed that.
Almost 8,000 man hours.
Wow, 8,000 hours.
Great volunteers, I'll tell you.
You see that, and some people were concerned that they,
I think they'd want the horn to blow if their house was on fire.
Yeah.
Definitely keeps me awake. Next to
Malin, are all the, particulate hoods in now?
the 20 that we ordered, 20 that the village paid for, 20 that always one paid for are in, and we have 2 sets of them left. All the interior folks have been issued those, and a second set of insides to the helmets, the sweatband and the ear flaps and stuff that get dirty as well. Each interior firefighter's got 2 of those.
Do you have any of your firefighters down at the training center right now?
Yep, we've got some in the, it's actually in there in the BFO, Basic Exterior Firefighting Operations course. We have 3 in a fire officer course, and we have some of them that are gonna continue on to the interior firefighting operations course.
The training center came to Rotary this morning and said that they had
Yep.
58,000 hours of
Mhm.
training done at that training center,
Correct.
and over 40,000 people have used it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Rotary in town here helps support buying stuff. They're gonna get some forward infrared cameras here.
Yeah, thermal imaging
That's gonna be
cameras.
pretty nice,
Yep.
so, wow.
And Chief, you mentioned in a paragraph that, your request to continue to be able to deliver your cancer prevention talks, absolutely, of
Oh,
course,
God,
you don't have
yes.
to worry about that.
Oh, this was given to the department too.
Okay,
So this is a report that goes annually to them.
Okay,
And the
good.
same thing comes to you, so.
okay, good. Because, yeah, that's a great thing that you're doing.
I agree.
Yeah, before they voted, I just wanted everybody to know how busy the job is,
Yeah,
opt in and out, so.
No,
And
he
that's
was he was telling his deputy fire chief that he's gonna be out of town a lot, and will you take care of things while I'm out of town? You understand what he's really saying?
oh, yeah. Got delegate.
And Pat, you have some numbers now to help.
Yes. Yep.
That's a good thing.
Well, and all of the
For
districts
allocation.
that we contract to will get a copy of their section, of the report in a smaller, I'm not sure, you guys haven't got it, but, I gave it to, that's the annual fire report.
Yep.
So, and it tells what we did and how much was in each, township, what the type of calls were and all that sort of stuff. And each town, gets a copy of their, portion of that report, so they know what we did in each town. And then a synopsis like that of what was done in the others.
Excellent.
So I'll be getting those printed off and getting those sent up and with a letter, and Dan can send them out.
For everybody that's not aware, our contracts are coming up with the fire department, with these other fire districts, and, Mail and I will be working together to get those. We have opted, some of them were offset, and one of the reasons we did a 1 year with the town is so that we can bring all these contracts online at one time, so that when we're negotiating and we're allocating the costs across, we can do it fairly for the
Right.
same time period, or the time frame for everybody. That's the reasoning, or the logic that we're using for this, so.
Excellent. Any other questions for Chief?
I have some things for you.
Ah, alright, hit us.
Our installation dinner is Friday the 20th at the Homer Elks. If you haven't gotten the invitation, you should.
I went last year, it was great.
Cocktails
I
are
will be there.
at 6, and somebody needs to bring that book to swear us in.
That's right.
So yeah, somebody has to swear us in.
What was the time, I'm sorry?
6 o'clock, cocktails are at 6, dinner's at 7, program is after dinner.
You said the Elks, right?
Yes, sir. 45 Cortlandt Street, 205 has been taken care of.
Good.
We're only gonna go there in a very, I don't know how to put it, worst case scenario, let me put it that way. So we do not go there anymore.
Good.
I did get notice this afternoon, which, Pat, we can start moving forward. We didn't get either grant we applied for. Didn't get one for the engine, didn't get one for the pagers.
Okay.
Okay,
So we were turned down on both of those.
so we can move forward with the
Yep.
chassis,
With
okay,
whatever we have and however we're gonna do that, so we
alright,
can get together maybe somewhere along the line to see where we're at with that. And I'll get the committee back together and say, you know, here's where we're at, we're gonna move forward.
good.
Okay.
Let's go. The other thing, I know we talked about the workshop, and I gave you a little letter there, in regards to the, and I have a number of other stats, but, I have a users list from each of the 2 people that supplied us quotes for the exhaust extraction system. Plimavent has by far more in New York State, than the other company. And there's several other things that, I've got, so it doesn't change my opinion of what we talked about there. Even though the Plimavent is a little more expensive, I'd rather see us go with that. So if you guys have figured out where the money's coming from, is that something you're gonna
We
approve?
have actually, well, building reserve,
So is that something you're gonna approve tonight, and we can start the paperwork process rolling?
we can do it.
Yeah. Alright. That's the one you said was compatible with like Cortlandville, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yep,
Cornwall,
Zimmer
American,
Broad,
yep,
a couple other places.
yep.
so, is that something you do now, or later, or?
I think, we would do it now, so we just need a motion to approve the leasing of the Plimavent exhaust extraction system for the fire department with the money to be taken out of the building discussion.
It's a good thing.
I know it's a little expensive, but it's for the health and welfare of our firefighters.
They don't need to be sucking up diesel fumes.
Right,
Well, I think you guys, I sent you the articles on the diesel exhaust.
yeah,
Yep,
It's not
You
good.
guys know what it's like.
yeah.
absolutely.
They had
Oh.
a truck running in there yesterday just to do some minor work DPW did, and it's big smell throughout the station.
Yep.
So with that, thank
All,
you.
well, I forgot about, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay.
All
How
right,
about the minutes?
Well, he's still going.
Still going,
that,
okay.
no, that's, folks, that's it, that's,
I lined up.
yep, unless you have something for me, that's
Make a
it.
motion to accept the fire report.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
I'm around for another year.
Great job.
Good, I met your, friend there over, the chief of Cortlandville?
Kevin Whitney,
Yes.
oh, I'm afraid to ask where you met him.
Just at Rite Aid, we were in line at Rite
Oh,
Aid, actually,
okay.
yeah.
He was at Rotary this morning.
Yes, he was there, yep, I was supposed to be there and didn't make it, but
That's okay. Guys did a great job, man.
perfect, that's what we like to hear. So, thank you very much for the exhaust extraction system. I will call them tomorrow and tell them that whatever official paperwork we need with numbers and all that, to go ahead and get that sent through, and we'll schedule a time to start getting that put in.
Thank you for being chief for another 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you
Well, that was part of the vote we just did.
no can do, no can do.
It's in the fine print. You
The
should've-
bylaws state 5 years maximum term, and this is the second year, so it can't be 5 more.
So he's good for
Alright.
another 3.
Yes.
No, somebody else is gonna end up being fire chief.
Thanks, Malin.
Thank you very much, Malin.
Thank you.
Man, I'll give you an email or something, we'll get together about the other stuff.
Yeah.
The fire truck and the,
Yep. Yep. And I see Fred's here with the town, we sent the letter, I think I put in there, we went and did the travel around on the
Yeah.
routes and all that. I think everybody saw that, so. Hopefully that helps with that project.
It got sent in, the draft got sent in.
Perfect.
And then they will review it and send us back.
Okay.
And so we'll send in the real one, but we appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, John.
Thank you, man. All right, fire inspector report, we've got one. So he re-inspect the Greenbrier. He's gotta re-inspect the library, cause they had some violations. Motion to accept the,
I'm just curious, do you think he should list the violations so that we know what they are, or is it not an issue?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if there's anything really
You'd think if it was pretty serious of nature, they would.
serious,
If it's
yeah.
undated, fire extinguisher.
I'm just saying in the codes report, we'll make a little list of.
We could, I mean, my office at Cornell they just did a fire inspection in my office at Cornell, and it's a brand new building, and we got cited for a violation, cause we had the water cooler and the printer plugged into a power strip. You can't have that, but Cornell didn't build enough outlets into our offices, so. Now we have
Oopsie.
Well, looks like they're gonna have to come back and do some electrical work.
Maybe if you just listed that, that would kinda, look at that.
This
I was
is-
just
This
telling-
is fine. Just curious.
Hey, at least we're getting a report now.
Yeah,
This is
Good
good.
step in the right direction.
yeah.
I make a motion to accept the fire inspector's report.
A second.
Discussion, all in favor? Unanimous? Alright, police report, the chief is, in another area, teaching some, he's doing some arson training.
Did anybody ever ask him if they caught the person that nailed the light post next to Cuga Street a while back?
Didn't know someone hit the light post next to
Yeah,
us.
I was on my way to work one morning and there was somebody stopped there because the post was
Really?
Where was it?
right at the corner of Main and Cuga.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It wasn't too awful long ago.
We did get funding again from Cortland Area Communities That Care, for the bike patrol.
Oh, that's great.
So that's excellent. We're gonna start in May. So that's very popular, obviously, with our residents.
Absolutely is.
And they're doing another active shooter training. They're gonna do one at the school. And they're gonna bring in some folks from Webster, New York, to help with that. It's gonna be a pretty large one, I think.
No Xerox country there.
That's yeah, they're doing
That's
the
right.
first responder training. And Rose has resigned, taken another job. She was very great, and Chief said she was an asset not only to the police department, to the village residents, and I would like to recognize her in this report. So,
Yeah, I liked her. Yeah, she was always personable and right on top of it.
so,
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Recreation. Do you not have the whole thing, Dante?
Oh, no, I never get the thing.
Why don't you get the thing?
I should grab one. I just wanted to look at something.
Oh, okay.
Easter egg hunt was great this year. I timed it, it was 24 seconds. Last
24
year it was
seconds.
27.
I think I saw somebody running out behind you after you ended it. I saw some kid running
They
by.
might have, but
They
there
might
weren't
have
any
run around,
eggs.
there were no eggs left. I was there,
I was just bedazzled how,
yeah.
and they had
They're
like
efficient.
2,000 eggs.
My little guy got 4
1700.
I saw, well, that's good, cause I saw a lot of,
ones. Yeah.
I saw a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's,
That's in there, we're gonna have to get more for next year. I did get one complaint, tons of compliments, one complaint that somebody left empty-handed, so.
and
Every
what
year
you
we
do
lose
is you
eggs.
keep some and you,
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
I don't know if Kevin did, I assume
No,
he
he
did,
didn't.
he's, oh no,
No, every
They-
piece was out, I think.
they had
right?
1,775 of them.
Right.
They're down about 250, but.
and
Those
I
little
saw a
eggs.
lot walk away, so we'll have to
Alright.
probably buy quite a few more.
And
Yeah.
some of them are
Eggs.
the little guys
Yeah.
over in the
Yeah,
area, and the parents may have been helping, I don't know.
And
That's a good idea though,
Just
they have
keep a
some
few.
for bed.
oh, we need to, yeah. Yeah,
I don't know who won the silver dollar or the gold dollar for
We'll,
the $5 and $10.
we'll put that in the Homer News.
Okay.
Actually, Ian Small won the Jelly Bean Counting Contest.
how many was it?
I, in the jar,
Yeah.
1,300.
1,300,
Exactly. I don't recall how many he guessed, we have that somewhere. He's only 25 off, roughly. So yeah.
oh. T-ball number's way up, that's
Yeah,
good.
That's excellent.
As I understand it, the football helmets are good for one more year. And we're gonna have to replace them,
Yeah,
and so that's part of our budget for next year, but that should not be.
what's the rough number on that, do you think?
Well, initially I was thinking at least 15,000, and then I spoke with John McNerney. He said he might have some leads, bring it down a little bit from there. But at least 10 grand is my estimate.
Okay,
So
be nice to find some other municipalities or other places that are maybe
you might
doing a purchase that we can
Right.
get in on a bigger
right.
group order.
Is there kind of like a web for villages and stuff that you could put something like that on?
There's a message board on Nikon that you can do that you can do those things, and there's also a service through Nikon for group purchasing of certain things, where they get sort of a group rate. So we should look into both of those.
We have a
things
year
before
to
we
do
that.
this, cause
Yeah.
the other ones, they're good for 10 years, so. then
Yeah.
You gotta throw them away, you can't give them
Yeah.
to anybody. You just, maybe you can figure out, you got a year to figure out how to recycle them or
Right.
something, or
Yeah.
turn them into confetti or something, I don't know what you do.
Any highlights you want to hit, Zach?
Kristen sent me an email about the farmers market and the summer concert series. I think overlapping the two is a great idea for
Yeah.
that hour. It makes perfect sense. I'm still waiting to hear back if they're gonna let us, clubs sell stuff during the concert as well. I would like the football club, for example, to come in if they want equipment upgrades or something more than what we offer them. Then if they wanna fund that, they can do that.
That'd be great.
Something like that of the sorts. I'm not sure legal limitations.
So who are you waiting to hear back from?
I don't remember the lady's name. Whoever is on the email contact for the church.
Oh,
I've heard back once before, but it's been a while. So
it's First Religious Society that we're.
I don't. Who owns the church?
Well,
The grounds.
it's the Green, right? You're talking about the Green.
yeah.
So the Green is the First Religious Society.
Okay, must be done.
So if you don't hear back soon, let me know, and I have some contacts I can give you.
Okay. I think that's really it. The spring and summer flyer, I'm gonna start printing soon. Took way longer to get that done than I expected. Other than that, ordered a bunch of new equipment for T-ball and softball, Monday. Some of it came today, and the rest will be here by Friday or some over the weekend, so.
Rec desk still working okay?
Oh, yeah, yep. Absolutely.
Zach, where's the arts and crafts? I see one on 14th and one on May 12th. Where are they? Where's that?
Elementary school cafeteria,
Okay.
from 12 to 3.
Just to give you a heads up, I apologize, I will not be available tomorrow night.
Not a problem. Ward won't either, so
Okay.
it'll be a smaller one.
Any other issues for us?
I think that's it. I've got laundry list of other stuff. I like the single page reports, but I might have to start moving them to 2 pages soon. So.
Well, yeah, one of the things that, we're gonna move to a template
Okay.
for reports, so everybody's reports look the same.
Cool.
So that'll be coming
Good deal.
in time for the next meeting. And the other thing is, reports are due the Friday before the meeting,
Okay.
so that we all have a chance to read them.
Versus reading them now.
Right.
It's not your fault.
I'll make a motion to accept the rec report as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Water and sewer. You're up, Buzz.
You want me to do it here?
Well, it's up to you. I see you put in 80 new meters.
Yep, and, most of our time last month was spent putting meters in, so.
Sure.
Probably, you know, we got a good response by just going out, putting little notes on the doors, and,
Oh, good.
you know, some, towards the end there, we have knock on doors, but I wanna mention, we're not out there to scare people, you know, nowadays
Right.
we can knock on the door, but we're not out there to scare people. And while we're on the meters, phase 3. I got some of these here, I guess.
How many do you do in a day, bud?
Well, it depends how many we can get appointments in. I mean, you could probably put
Oh.
5 or 6 in a day if you can get that
Are
many.
you talking about this?
Yep.
Oh.
Got some more here.
Oh, yeah, I need one of those, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You can see we get 211 meters there. We can get and that's our share, if we have somebody else putting in.
Right.
Us putting in them ourselves, we get another 116 meters.
That's
Wow.
great.
So the savings of us putting it in is gonna be quite a little bit in meters, so.
Yeah.
The other thing is made the check with, that Cook. And see, from the last time, there should be some. from-
Oh, where we,
for the
ones that
80
we installed.
Yeah, the 80 meters we put in.
Have you invoiced them yet?
I didn't, because when I talked to, Aunt Wedgie, he was saying that he thought we have to pay for that out of our own budget, but then when I got this here, I see they already taken it out. They're taking it out because
Oh.
it's coming out of the grant money.
Okay, so this is from the city. They've already figured out that they're gonna give us more meters?
This is from EJP. He
Okay.
has to figure out how many meters he's gonna get.
All right.
And how much it's gonna cost.
So they're just gonna go ahead and give them to us then?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we don't have to invoice or anything like that then?
No.
Excellent.
So, how many total have we done so far? I know there's more 1,500 or so houses and, maybe a little more
1,250, but that's including some of the
businesses.
bigger meters, which we're
Yeah,
not
okay.
gonna be replacing.
Making progress, that's great.
It's coming. It's
Yes,
coming.
sir.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent.
We're not turning curb stops. That's very time consuming. You gotta go from house to house, turn them. Make sure they're not broke. If they are broke, we go back, fix them.
Okay.
We got the hydrant in at the junior high school. Checking manholes for leaks and some of the ones that we're gonna have to fix this summer that are settling, breaking up.
That, make sure you keep track of all that so that we can credit it towards the I&I project. Remember Chris said that, you know, if we show that we've already started the work, it actually increases our scoring. So,
Alright. Cleaning our pump stations out. We helped them a little bit on the snow removal. And I'm still getting quotes for our directional boring
okay,
across there, and that's, I'll show you some figures. It's quite it pays to check.
okay, good. Good.
That's for the line by the fire department, right?
Yes.
Does the directional boring. Just so everybody knows, we've got a water line that's running underneath the firehouse, and if anything was to ever happen to that, like a leak, generally bad things, right, Buzz?
It is.
Ooh, just
I don't think-
impossible to get to.
Yeah, so
Unless you want us to jack the floor out.
So we're in the process of trying to get the water line moved around so it's not going underneath the firehouse.
So you've already started with engineering on that?
That's what Buzz is looking at now. with
We've,
the-
got Ken Teeter's
Yeah, I saw that
engineering.
bills in there, so, yep, yep, good, excellent.
So, the biggest thing is coordinate, you and I, first of June or right around that area, you'll do your carnival thing, right?
Yep, first weekend in June.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Discussion?
Right?
Oh.
Jump the gun.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
On the other side of the green.
Alrighty. Privilege of the floor. Fred, do you have anything you wanna add? Don't wanna put you on the spot.
No, with the architect still been, doing a lot of work in the building. Unfortunately, he's, asked for one more asbestos study. He said the contractors won't bid on it without that, and what he's asked for is above the ceiling of the theater.
Oh, really?
I mean, seems a bit ridiculous, but this will be the fourth or fifth study we've done. There was a pipe in the old police department that we mitigated. There was putty on the windows. You know, there was, it's the glue that holds the things on the wall. It just never ends. So we're hoping to go get it buttoned up so we can go out for bid before too long.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't hear the end of asbestos from my wife at home. Cause we've got some on our pipes in our basement and she's convinced that, we're dying from it, so I hear about it most every day, but thankfully I love my wife very much and so I humor her.
And she watched.
Oh, yeah.
For the people watching on YouTube or Facebook, now is your chance to type in a question to the mayor and the trustees.
Well, I'm gonna hear something now.
Well, I've been touting this, and I'd really like to have a question. But you only got a few minutes. All right, anything else from anybody?
He likes that being in front of the camera, doesn't he?
Me?
No, him.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
He
Both
was
of these guys.
I've only broken them.
Both of these
I
guys.
break cameras all the time. But anyhow, all right.
All right, any old business? No, all right, new business. Approving fiscal advisors and marketing incorporated as the financial advisors for the village.
And this is for the INI, or, yeah,
Bond
Yep.
council.
for the INI,
Yep.
Bond counseling and
Right.
such for the INI
right.
project, as we will refer to it.
Yep, I'm for it.
All right. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. There you go.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Kind of a necessary item to move forward.
Alright, another perpetual troublemaker. Let's look this document over closely. Kevin is asking to reduce the number of sewers from 8 to 6 on his property at 9 through 11 Northwest Street. Because there are 2 that are not active or being used.
It's a no-brainer in my eyes.
Kind of the, those trailers going.
One of them is no trailer, the other one will.
Okay.
Right. Right, so one, there's no trailer, the other one will Alright,
I'd make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I,
Unanimous. Okay, the next thing is the approval of Donna Cotis for the position of clerk part-time. You see her resume or her application here. I interviewed her with Dan, Don, Kristen. She's got a lot of experience. She knows Williamson already. She used Williamson at Bolton Point, which is the water facility for Tompkins County and other municipalities, some of the other municipalities within Tompkins. So she's got a lot of experience, and I think that, and she's got also other municipal experience as well. So
Sounds great.
good personality. So she would be, I think, 9 to 2,
9 to 1,
9 to 1,
5 days a week.
9 to 1, 5 days a week. Here to help out clerical stuff.
Make the motion to accept it.
Sorry?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Alright, the next one, approval of Kimberly Rattano, who would be the new secretary for the chief of police. Chief interviewed several people. Extensive experience.
That name sounds familiar, is your husband, Coleman Police Department or something like that?
Could be, I don't know. I'm not sure. She works for the city of Cortland in the code enforcement office.
I'll make the motion to accept her.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. We need to approve the part-time laborers for DPW and Newton Waterworks. We pretty much,
You don't have any candidates yet, or just
Yes.
they're
They
opening?
do.
the
I think they've got their candidates. Buzz, do you have a candidate? Yep, so they've got their, we just have to approve,
position? Doing it.
yeah. So,
I'll make that motion.
Are we
I'll
gonna
sec-
keep them busy all the time?
what's that?
Are we gonna
during-
keep these guys busy all the time?
During the summer, they'll be fine, there's plenty.
Okay. I'll
Discussion?
second
It's our summer help. I've talked with Buzz and Mike, and I know they've got plenty for them to do, to keep them busy.
it. All right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, unanimous. Alright,
Yeah.
Fire hydrants got left, so I know
we
Buzz.
need to, make a motion to issue a refund, of a tax overpayment. The property owner paid and the escrow company paid, so, you have the document in front of you,
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Yep,
it is.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Alright, we've got a discharge of a mortgage, this is the one that we got emailed, right, Dante? From, Pat from Fran, yep, and you're good with this?
Yeah,
Yep.
well, I didn't do any of the research, but, you did, and they paid what they were
Yeah,
supposed to.
it was paid, the property transferred, we can't find the check deposit, but the property transferred from the people that owned it to the people that are selling it now. And the attorney for the people I know would never let anything go
Right,
without it being paid. But the discharge was never recorded.
got it.
And that's not the first one that hasn't been recorded.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
the last ones too.
So we're gonna be probably doing some cleanup with those from time to time.
So there's no money owed us or anybody
No,
else, this is
no.
strictly a paperwork
Everything I
cleaning.
could find was that we were paid off.
Okay.
they called and got the amounts that they requested the amounts, we sent them the amounts to be paid. But I just don't have access to the bank accounts to see where the deposit was hit. It was 2000 and several years ago, and
Okay,
I just couldn't go back in.
yeah, sure.
I'm reasonably sure that
Yeah.
they got this.
All right, the next, is the approval of the farmer's market rules and the vendor application. Kristen sent this all to us in email.
And I looked it over a couple times, it's fabulous.
Yeah,
Great
she
job.
did a good
I
job.
think this is gonna be the best farmer's market ever.
I'm very excited. The village is taking over the farmer's market to run it. I think it's a good thing. The farmer's market draws people into the village on Saturdays, helps promote the village in general, it helps our local businesses. It's a win-win. So yeah, I think she did a great job with all of this. I think we're off to a good start, so.
Train talk, my old man's doing it.
Oh, the farmer's market?
Yeah, he does Ithaca, Trumansburg, Watkins Glen.
Come on.
You know,
Jeez, really?
Even if you just did Wednesdays or
you know,
something.
and it's all organic strawberries mostly.
Oh, man, that'd be nice.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I had a couple things, but I see that the changes weren't made. Points of contact is not who's listed here. It
Yeah, I
should
think
be-
this is I think the old document got printed.
Versus the corrections she made there.
Yeah,
on email.
We have the correct one in
Yeah.
email.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
they made the changes.
Yep,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, sorry, that's the other one I got. I never got any correct.
Oh, you didn't get the corrected one? Okay, we'll get that over to you. It's really just changes the point of contact
Yep.
to her, and,
And I think timing, because we were talking, like Zach mentioned, we're talking about having the farmer's market overlap with our
yes,
concert series,
A
so.
little bit, yeah.
yep.
Is there a limit to how many vendors we can have?
Not at this point, I'm sure that they have the number of,
Probably 20 or
stalls, or the
We-
number of spaces available, but.
Both sides of the sidewalk.
We really could,
Ramp
we'll
it up
never,
big time.
it's not something we're gonna have to worry
Oh,
about.
just curious.
Because we could do both sides of the sidewalk, and then the sidewalk that goes down to the,
Peter Street.
to the, well, the Q Street sidewalk, and also the sidewalk that goes down the middle too, and both
Yep.
sides of that, so,
That's
We
plenty.
could really have a,
yeah.
yeah.
Does it specify how far on the other side of the sidewalk they can go? They can back into the grass area?
Well, they go right alongside the sidewalk,
Sure,
where it tees and heads towards the churches.
right.
They can go on either side of those all the way.
But I mean, like, how far into the center of the
Oh,
green?
in the middle of the,
Like
no.
10 feet? 5 feet?
It's like ten.
You have a
Reasonable.
specification for the size of
Yeah.
your tent, and
Right.
you can't go much further than
Okay.
that.
Right.
I was thinking of piggybacking one of the stall positions for one of the clubs, for example,
Well, sure.
to be a part of it, rather than, I think it should be nearby rather than maybe
Yeah.
next to the music.
Well, I think absolutely.
That would make sense then, if it's, just go along with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy, you should talk to your dad and tell him all the farmers that he comes in contact with about,
Yeah, I definitely will. Yep,
spread the word.
absolutely.
Show
And
him.
it even says
I'm
he
gonna
can
send
print
him
for
this.
him as long as he has a sign up for him where it came from.
Yeah,
He could be a distributor almost,
Right.
as long as he has the signs and stuff.
I'll make a motion to approve the farmer's market's rules and vendor application as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. And we've got one resolution. Dan, you wanna read it? Or should I read it? No, it doesn't really matter. I'll read it, why not? I always read it. Be resolved that Darren Hal McCabe, as mayor of the village of Homer, is hereby authorized and directed to accept funds from the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation in accordance with the provisions of Title IX of the Environmental Protection Act of 1993 in the amount not to exceed $311,403, and enter into and execute a project agreement with the state for such financial assistance to the village of Homer for the Route 11 corridor acquisition project, and if appropriate, a conservation easement or preservation covenant or public access covenant to the deed of the assisted property. So this is just authorizing me to head up the Route 11 grant, which
You need a
Pre-
motion? Do you
Yeah.
accept it? I'll make the motion that we accept that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Oh, this is wonderful.
That was an easy one. Yeah, this is the Route 11 project, which, we're trying to push forward here. I reached out to NICEAG for the third time today. Just continuing to, now I'm gonna start making some phone calls soon. But we'll just keep pushing forward. So, alright. Dante, anything?
Yeah, I mean, to that end, you saw the email from Rich about maybe subconnecting the thing to a two-stage process, if we could do the hotel or not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
Might do two-stage thing, and also that we don't need the property owner's permission to do a phase one environmental.
yeah, except that might piss off the property owner if we go through all that research and then say, can we buy a property we know X, Y, and Z, but, I don't know, that's a kind of discretion thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to come to some
Yeah.
agreements for the betterment of the village.
Yeah. The garbage thing, there is a provision that allows you to promulgate rules about garbage cans. I don't see anything specifying that they have to be back by 5 p.m. the next day. I don't know.
There's a rule or a code?
There's a provision in the code that gives the board of trustees power to promulgate rules.
Can you send that to me via
Yeah.
email?
Sure. It's in the code. I can show it to you.
Well, it
But
just
there's no-
gives us the right
It
to
just gives
do
us
it,
the
but
right
there's
to do
nothing
it.
there,
I
right?
don't see anything saying the
We don't
garbage
have, we
rules
talked
and-
about it probably, that's where I got those dates from.
Yeah.
So they could pass a resolution or a regulation saying.
I think there's one,
Garbage cans.
out there, probably not in the code book, but I'm pretty sure one of the previous
Okay.
boards has passed something along those lines.
Okay.
I know
It's
Mary
from
Alice
Mary.
was pretty convinced that there was one, so.
There might be something in the records, but you do have the power to fine under that provision, so.
Okay.
If you do have that regulation, the code does give you the power to set up.
So we'll noodle at the next work session what the fine schedule should be and what the time should be. I mean, I think in by 5 is not realistic because
People work.
people don't get home from work by 5 anymore.
Right.
They might, maybe they used to.
The cemetery passed the subdivision, I think you sent along an email, right?
Yeah.
So we have subdivision approval, I just got an email that I think I forwarded to you guys, that they're getting all the title documents together, so.
Yeah.
So once I get those, we can talk about that.
Okay.
I prepared a lease for the police station, at the $550 a month rate for just 1 year. I don't have a provision for renewal, I wanted to ask you about that before I send it over. Do you guys want any sort of renewal provision? Without that, it would just go to a month-to-month tenancy. Where you would just need 30 days notice to leave, but he could also give you 30 days notice to,
What would your recommendation be?
how long do you wanna be there for? I guess it's kind of a question for Pittman.
It's kinda open.
Yeah.
Where else would you put them?
Here.
Well,
Not for a while.
not for a while.
I think we should have, I think we should have a renewal option put in there.
It would be right that you guys would have exactly be an option.
Yeah,
Another year,
Yeah.
at the same rate.
that'd be good. Please do that.
And then I'll send that along to him, and then I'll send it along to you guys for closer to the final stage.
Okay.
Or an inflation raise or something.
Yeah, a COLA adjustment.
Who knows? Try not to, if you have to.
We've been getting a pretty good deal on that building for a while.
I know.
So I'll send that along to him tomorrow, that provision, and then we'll flip over and we'll send it over to you guys for any other comment, unless you guys have anything else you wanted to add. Those were the two big provisions.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Insurance and stuff like that. Everything else. Oh, did the church ever get back to you about a resolution regarding the sale?
The church or the First Religious Society? I need to email him again.
Okay. The other two things we can talk about in executive.
Who's your point of contact for them?
Chuck Fisley.
Saw him this morning.
He's in our rotary with us.
Anything else, Dante?
The other two
Later.
things will be executive session.
Okay. done with the return, I'd like to move on to, I have a couple.
I'm sure you do. You guys always like to have some comments, so.
Mike, the clock, our village clock is 5 minutes slow.
Tell him, Buzz, it's on satellite.
It is on a satellite, it's supposed to be self-adjusting. It adjusted for the daylight savings time. Why it's 4 minutes slow, I don't know.
Yeah. Somebody must have called you again, or did you know?
Yeah, and every time I see it, and I'm like looking at my satellite phone tells me it's.
Yeah, we know, we've been seeing it too.
Okay, and then,
Well, there is adjustment in there.
Yeah.
I'll have to get the book back out and read it
Okay.
again.
Okay.
There is adjustment in there.
We have to override the satellite.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, the street signs, for Wall and Main Street, I think they got,
Yes, Tommy, Kyle, Bennett over, I think, and we have it at the garage, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I have all the new stuff for it, we just haven't got to it yet. That's- The street sign and the street light there is out too, that's one as soon as it warms up a little bit, we're gonna replace.
Okay. Thanks.
I understand a lot of our streetlights are starting to rust out and things like that.
Well, there's only 9 of them we own, the ones on Main Street, right in front of the stores. And if you, just be careful, but we've tightened up some of them, they're getting really rotten at the
Is
bases.
there a new base you could put in, or you gotta replace the whole pole?
Yeah, you gotta replace, if you look at the ones
Secret-
across the street
secret deal here.
at the bank, that's the new style.
Okay.
How much are the new?
I do not know
Yeah.
that, I have asked.
Well, because,
I had kinda held because of the lighting program you had going on.
Garbage regulations. This is 131, and then the penalties are on the second page, 131-6.
yeah, because when we do the LED conversion, we're gonna have to buy all those.
Yeah.
And so, if we own them, we gotta know how long they're gonna last for, and
Right.
if we need to wrap replacing them into the cost of the project, which I think we do.
Yes.
I think that's what I was kinda looking for, if you wanted to include them in your project that you had going on, so.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, at least there's a new style though that we can, I was worried that we weren't gonna be able to get them again, or get anything similar, so.
Yeah, I think they look good.
What else we
Wish
have?
we could do
Those
something
all I
like that.
had.
That's all?
Wait,
Okay.
executive session.
Dante, I have a code book, I wrote the numbers down and I'll make sure I got them too, that's all.
Ed, you got stuff?
I'm pretty happy.
Oh, man, listen to that, right?
Are you still on new business, or did you move on from new?
We're in, comments by board members, but it's a free-for-all at this point, so jump in.
I had, did we come up with anything on a tree contract and or contractor? Okay, cause
The plant?
I got several trees I have got to get down, we gotta make a decision here very soon,
What do you mean to cut?
yes. Tree
Like we did
contractor,
Didn't we?
tree contract
No,
and
we
or
deferred
contractor.
it to discuss it at the work session. We were gonna vote on it tonight.
Ooh,
But we were having some, but we discussed it.
I forgot what
So-
we had, what we said.
Well, I think the discussion came down to,
I know you want this.
we've had a long time relationship with that service. The owner lives in the village. Priority should always be given to someone that is a village resident,
I agree.
and
And
so.
then we got the other factors, the safety that is involved with his day-to-day operations is always top notch. He's never had any complaints from anybody from the work he's done.
Yeah,
Do we need to make a motion?
and so, yeah, we do, and so really all we need to do is,
Hold on a second, Dan?
My only caveat is that ongoing contract with that vendor, looks like a straight up time and materials, and that's a bad contract. So it needs to be, I think I gave, a copy of another municipality's, tree contract.
Yeah,
That was more
you did
thorough.
that. That's one I
That's,
passed on.
that is, goes by the tree size, what they need to do, what the cost is gonna be. You can't just do time and materials. You need a more thorough contract, if it's gonna be that contract or whoever is gonna bid on it, it needs to be more methodical, it needs to be a unit price.
Okay.
As opposed to T and M.
so then why don't we have Dante take a look at the contract that the other municipalities contract and come up with one for us. And, we just need to put a memo in there as per the comptroller's office, the extenuating circumstances why we are not going to general bid as per their directive, which is that, we have, as we listed, the safety issues, resident of the village, long-standing relationship, knows the village, knows the trees, and so, we just need to write that up. And then I don't think it needs to be probably as extensive as the sample one you gave us, which was like 35 pages long.
Just that.
I think maybe there's a happy medium.
Sure.
That we can get to.
I would just recommend unit price as opposed to T&M.
Okay.
So if that contractor's comfortable enough in figuring that out. So, or we present that to the contractor.
Have them come in, sit down and work it out.
So, did you catch that? We've got a page sample that Dan gave us, which is very, very, very detailed. He wants to go to unit price. So just something simple, then draw that up, and then we'll present it to the contractor, and if they're comfortable with it, move forward. Okay, that sound good?
Yep.
Since Mike does wanna kinda get going on this with the trees, what kind of a timeline are we looking at?
As soon as possible.
I know we're kind of kicking this onto Dante.
Can we have the contractor proceed under the existing contract until we get this completed?
I don't see why not. You have an existing contract with it? No, it expired.
It's expired, but
Yeah, it's expired, and it's just, I think even tell me if I'm wrong, on the addendum or the extension has expired, is that correct?
Yes, the previous administration extended it, which is basically what you're doing right now.
But that extension expired, so it's not in full effect at all right now.
So we
Can
can
we make a
extend it
motion
with
to
a,
extend it 2 months?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it that
I'll
way.
make a motion to extend that prior contract.
It's an
2
emergency
additional
situation,
months.
yes? Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
With the new contract to follow.
right,
No more than 2 months.
right, not to exceed 2
It
months,
could be less.
right,
Hopefully.
when the new contract is ready. Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Tim, can you contact him and make sure it's coming from you, and not just, you guys, not just coming from me?
Yep.
Make sure he's also all right with the 2 months.
Yep.
I'm sure he is, but I think it's better that it comes from you guys.
Sure, no problem.
Any other discussion?
I got one other thing.
Oh, we gotta vote.
We gotta vote.
No other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, go ahead.
Doby's got 2018 leftover pickup trucks. I put them on purchase orders out there, or vouchers, if you guys would look at them, please. They're leftovers, he's trying to roll them. He's got a 19 coming. And that won't be here for a while yet, so. I know you didn't wanna hear it, but I got one that's on the way down.
Who are you working with over at Toby?
Your buddy, Luke.
Oh, Luke? I like Luke.
Yes, yeah, he's a nice guy. I do not know him that well, but
No?
I met him.
We talk hunting a lot. He hunts down in the area that I hunt at.
Yeah,
We'll take a look at it, Mike.
Yeah.
We'll take a look. We have to talk about some things, but yeah. We can do that. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Anything else from anyone else?
You got no department head meeting this month, you can't.
We do have, okay, we do have a department head. I canceled it because I wanted to get it off that automatic thing that sends notifications, because it's just, I think it's confusing, but we do have a department head meeting, yeah.
Okay.
This Friday?
No, it's not this Friday. It's, the last Friday of the month, right?
27th?
Let me take the
27.
Right after our work session.
26th.
Yeah, so you canceled or did you just do that too?
I did the same thing. So there is a work session on the 26th. And then Are we still 6 o'clock work sessions, or are we 5?
I think it's 6.
6, okay.
Give them a chance to get here, and
Right,
us to get pizza ordered.
okay, yeah, which we need to actually start doing again. Alright,
Time's the department head meeting?
department head meetings at 8 AM on Friday the 27th.
I need $30 from you.
Alright,
I know you will.
okay.
The-
Anything else?
That's it, the rest of the stuff I'll cover then.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss real estate and personnel issues.
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Yeah,
Okay.
Great.